Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I'm your host, Angelina Wilson. And on Halloween 1881, Etna Battenbender was murdered in Pennsylvania. Excuse me. My hair is a disaster. Gosh, I apologize. My hair is a disaster because I was wearing a hat because it's really, really, really cold out. Anyway, I'm back. That was the doctor's office. She told me about a nasal gel, and I used my Walmart cash and got it for nothing. So, it'll be here tomorrow. As I was saying, Etna Battenbender was murdered. And while searching the archives of the Reading, Pennsylvania Eagle, someone stumbled across articles published in February of 1881, just October, November, December, January, 5 months later, about another assault that occurred in the area, this time near Saylorsville, Pennsylvania. The article mentioned 3 young girls were physically assaulted by a group of 6 young men. The girls had left church on the evening of February 22nd and were headed home when the attack occurred. They were indecently assaulted. And one of the girls had their dress ripped to shreds. They were saved when one of them screamed, "Murder." A number of men identified as having already been arrested and questioned for the death of Etna Battenbender. It appears the group of attackers got away with the assault. There's an article about Etna's murder, which the writer of this article almost missed because she was listed as Emma. It's an article from March 17th, 1881. A man named John Pfeiffer, spelled either P-F-E-I-F-F-E-R or P-E-I-F-F-E-R, had murdered his cellmate, John McBride, at the Eastern States Penitentiary in Philadelphia before taking his own life. They weren't sure why she was mentioned in that article, but then the next day there was an article that was much more clear. After he strangled his cellmate, he wrote a suicide note on a piece of slate. I guess they had chalkboards in their cells. On the front it was written, "Miss Emma Battenbender, Jackson Township, last fall, me and my cousin George Kraft." Excuse the bad grammar there. I'm reading it as he wrote it, and the grammar here is not very good. Gets worse. Here the message ended abruptly. On the backside of the slate was a second similar message. "I also killed that girl in Jackson County," and in parentheses says township. "Cousin George Kraft last fall was arrested. His brother. They call me the Divil." It's supposed to be devil, but that's how he spelled it. D-I-V-I-L. And a witch. W-I-C-H. Whoops. So if you all knew all the people I have killed, you would astonish. Go in New York. There. T-H-E-R. Forgot the other E. You find out all about me. I am sorry for me, Owen family, for I know they use them rough on R-U-F. Like I said, the grammar and the this person wasn't educated at all. He was actually a distant relative of the Battenbenders. He was questioned about Etna's death and let go. And a couple days later, he went to prison for burglary. He had a long list of robberies and other petty crimes, and had spent time in a number of prisons, including a stay at the infamous Sing Sing prison in New York. Well, Eastern States is pretty infamous, too. The Eastern States Penitentiary is now closed. It's owned by private owners who give tours because it's said to be haunted. Look it up. Trust me. I will try to remember to put a link. He tried to kill himself while on trial in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That's Wilkes-Barre. And, he swallowed powdered glass. In March of 1881, he was transferred to Eastern States in Philly. And a few days later, he killed himself and his cellmate. Some people didn't think he wrote it. The man George Kraft that was mentioned in the confession come suicide note. I'm so sorry. What happens when you wear a hat? Was questioned, but nothing ever happened to him. Officially, the case remains unsolved. She's buried at Mount Zion Cemetery in Hamilton Township, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. This is in the Poconos, by the way. She was 17 years old. Her gravestone reads, "Murdered by some person, unknown, between the hours of 4 and 6 o'clock." A Denise Cahill showed the author where she had been murdered. The Monroe County First Assistant District Attorney Michael Mancuso and Chief Detective Eric Kirchner have been trying to crack the case in their spare time because, like I said, there's no obligation to do so. She was killed in 1880. Nobody's alive. And this is a quote from Mancuso. "Together we worked to try to locate the original sources that might give us some idea of what had happened to the 17-year-old girl back in 1880. Starting with her own gravestone that contained information that we scoured the courthouse for any kind of records, archives, the Historical Society. It all mushroomed from there," he said. And they used what they've learned throughout their long careers in law and law enforcement to go over the case. Okay. My bread just beeped. And there is a book that they wrote about the case called Etna, A Murder Out of Time. I will link that from Amazon for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I apologize for the annoying beeping. I gotta go get my bread out of the oven. God bless you, and I will see you Friday.